Hi, how are you tonight? My name's Fred, and I'm one of the bloggers here at Rots and Shots. Tonight we're going to talk about a subject near and dear to my heart, and no, I don't mean my wife. Tonight we're going to talk about the mainstream media, or as Sarah Palin once quoted, the lame scream media. So tonight I thought I'd grab some appropriate theme music for it, and we would talk about it. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Fred. I am a 23-year conceal and carry holder. I've been involved with firearms most of my adult life. What we're talking about tonight, though, is media biased. You go, oh my gosh, you mean the media is biased? Well, how could that happen? They're supposed to be fair and straight down the middle and have honest reporting and, tell both sides of the story. And if you believe that, you've got to be about 3 years old and believe in pixies. The mainstream media is no more, or is, like I said, Sarah Palin put it, the lamestream media is no more fair, unbiased, and equal in their reporting than I am a left-wing Democrat who believes Barack Obama is wonderful. You'd have to be pretty addle-brained to believe I was a left-wing Democrat who believed Barack Obama was wonderful. Anyhow, so as an example of that, I give you the Dallas Daily News, who today, or in the recent past, has run the mythical story of the 90% again. And for those of you who have not heard the 90% story, the 90% story is that 90% of all guns that end up in Mexican drug cartels' hands come from United States gun shops. I don't know about you, but lately I haven't been able to walk down to my local gun shop and pick up a crate of Uzis, or buy some fragmentation grenades, or they've been kind of short lately on missile launchers. I don't know why, but my local gun shop doesn't seem to have any of those things. I don't know about yours, but mine doesn't. Yet, the mainstream media is happy to parrot the fable of the 90%, which also was debunked by WikiLeaks and by Operation Fast and Furious. In fact, there was such a small percentage for those of you who don't know what Fast and Furious is, it was BATFE's operation to import guns into Mexico to drug cartels, because they couldn't prove the mythical 90% that was supposed to be happening. So they told gun shop owners, legal FFL, federal licensed firearm dealers, along the border to ignore suspicious purchases by suspicious individuals and to let these sales continue. Well, okay, so they created their own mythical 90% by allowing these folks to walk the guns across the border and into Mexican drug cartels' hands. And then you have Paul Helmke of the Brady campaign, and their assertion in their most recent advertisement that gun owners are shooting at silhouettes on ranges of little children. I can assure you I've been shooting for some 23 years. I've never found a need or want to try target shooting at a silhouette of a child. I find the idea of target shooting at a silhouette of a child to be disgusting. In fact, it nauseates me to no end to think about the thought of dropping a hammer on a child. So, therefore, I would never find myself at a range shooting at silhouettes of a child. As you can see, my hair is not out of control, as was depicted by the Brady campaign, and that I am not some kind of monster that wants to nothing more than to run free to shoot children. as the Brady campaign commercial might lead one to suspect. So, at any rate, those are two really prime examples of it. And if you sit down with your local newspaper or your local television shows on the daily news, I'm pretty sure you can find a lot more of them. But all you have to do is really set and actually analyze what it is you're watching instead of just digesting it like one of the sheepables out there. Because the American people are just that. There are a lot of sheepables out there. They believe wholeheartedly in anything that their local TV news tells them is a fact, without fact checking it, without examining what it is they're telling you is the facts, without parsing every paragraph of what they say to you, because that's what needs to be done with the current mainstream media, is that you really need to sit down and parse every bit of what the mainstream media tells you. I personally can't do it. I don't got the stomach for it. It's so far one-sided that just sitting there listening to the gobbledygook makes me want to puke. So there's that. The other thing is that you can always tell that when a story doesn't go the way the media wants it to, when it doesn't tell the story they want it to tell, because they try their best to find different people who tell the story the way they want it told. And if you notice, there's hardly ever a printing or a edition of the evening news that tells you about good defensive gun uses, because it doesn't fit the media's storyline. They can't tell you that a pizza shop owner's allowing their drivers to carry concealed for self-protection and defense. They can't tell you that because a pizza shop owner allowed his drivers to carry concealed, that the driver was able to fend off and eventually dispatch a would-be robber. They can't tell you that, there's defensive gun uses daily in the country, and that 98.9% of them are ruled to be what we call in gun circles a good shoot. That the shooter is not charged with anything because there's no crime committed. It's ruled self-protection. It's ruled justifiable homicide. It's ruled personal defense, whatever the case may be. Excuse me. And nor will you ever hear mainstream media tell you those things. Well, that's my point of view on the mainstream media, that it basically is just a left-leaning organization to start with, that they should never be taken seriously. They should always be parsed. They should always be fact-checked before anyone believes any of the drabble that comes out of their mouths. It's just pure spin when it comes out of their mouths. If you don't parse it, if you just sit there, watch it, and go, oh my gosh, that's the absolute God's honest truth, so I better believe it, you're going to run around in the world thinking that there's a whole class of subhuman monsters out there, and they're called gun owners. And that these subhuman monsters are living in the dark ages, and they want to stroll down the streets at high noon and shoot it out with each other, and they want the streets to run red with blood, and their only desire is to shoot at children, and that or their only other desire is that they be given the opportunity to shoot it out with somebody. and that's just not true. The average gun owner is not one of those people that would relish the opportunity to go head to head with another armed individual and see if they couldn't come out alive at the end. That we're not the gunslingers of the Old West. We're calm, mostly well-trained individuals. Because one of the things I always tell people when they first get a gun is to seek out training. I'm not a firearms instructor, I'm not a lawyer, but I recommend highly that when you purchase a firearm for self-protection or conceal and carry, that the first thing you do is seek out training for the proper use and proper knowledge of when and when not to shoot. So, having said that, I welcome all commentary. I never shrink from anyone's commentary. I'll always try to respond to it. I'll try to respond to it in a timely manner. And again, my name's Fred, and I am one of the founding and chief bloggers here at Rods and Shots. I hope this has been somewhat educational for you. I hope it's been somewhat informational. And most of all, I hope it ticks off a lot of liberals. But again, like I say in all my blogs aren't for the purpose of education, or they're not for the purpose of someone to use the things that I may discuss for personal protection. They're just to hopefully entertain and enlighten somewhat the general public who may not be aware of these things. Again, have a great night, and I look forward to hearing from all of you.